This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the Graveyard Club podcast. We've something a little bit different today. I'm starting a new series, a new podcast. We're going to call it the Gravediggers, and I'm going to have guests on. It's going to be more of the general discussion podcast, and it's going to be something different. The other review series we discussed is still going to be there, but it's time for something a little bit more different. And we got great news there the other day that Hammer's after getting bought out by a billionaire. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
And just before we get in, we are part of the Deluxe Edition Network, home to a number of podcasts. We have everything over there from comedy, pop culture, movie podcasts such as my own, plenty, true crime, everything is over there. So I'm going to leave the link to the network website in the description. And every month we do this thing where we grant 2 podcasts of the month over on the network. So for the month of September, we have Metalhead Journeys and the MILF and Me podcast. So make sure you go over and check them out. Really great podcasts. So a lot of viewers may know that I'm a big fan of the Hammer movies. So when I heard that you were bought out by a billionaire, it was a great treat. Like, Hammer were known to take over the likes of the Dracula films, the Frankenstein films from Universal, and they started their own series kind of from the late 50s to anywhere from the early 70s. Then they were on form. The British horror literally had the horror genre by the bollocks. Like, the British knew how to make their horror films back then. They did, however, kind of fizzle out in the 70s. That's when the Americans started making even better horror films, and then the Americans obviously took over the horror genre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist, you know yourself, Hammer was not competing with this. So, don't know, I think they kind of went out of business in the late 70s and then had like a small revival in the 2000s. If many don't know, like, The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe is actually a Hammer film. The Lodge, there's a few other films that Hammer would have produced back then, but they didn't really come back the way they were back then. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they were almost like a factory back then, just pumping out all them sort of films. So, the person that bought Hammer over recently is called John Gore, and he's 7th on the Forbes list. So, could you imagine that Hammer's had been bought out by a billionaire? And what's good is he grew up watching all the Hammers as a kid, and he's a big fan of all them old classic films, and he wants to basically modernise a lot of them stories. There's a whole slate of films apparently announced, planned, so it'd be interesting to see what they could be. Now, I do know there was a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde film already in production, starring Eddie Izzard as Dr. Jekyll, and that was due to come out this year. So I'm pretty sure that it's full steam ahead for that film to come out. There's been no trailers or anything out for it yet, but still though, I'll be interested to see that one. See, I kind of lost all interest and hope for the dark universe that Universal was trying to make, with the Draculas, the Renfields, and even like the Mummies and the Invisible Man that the Force tried to make. Like, they were good films, but they spent too much time trying to link everything in with each other, where they should have just put out like standalone films and then see what came like after that. Like, we recently just watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and like I had great expectations for that film. Finally, like a proper horror Dracula coming back, and while the film was good, like, I did enjoy some parts of it. Like, the CGI Dracula killings parts weren't really my thing. So obviously Hammer were known for their Dracula films with Christopher Lee back in the day. So it'd be nice to see if the Hammer revisited them and brought Dracula back to where he's meant to be, a kind of a snobby womanizer. That'd be good to see in a modern take, I feel. And like, you have to think about the money this fella has for buying over Hammer. You're gonna see these films across the world. Like, he wants to. I think he did come out and say that he wants to bring it to the international level. So honestly, we could see like a birth of like brand new sort of horror films made by this fella. Like he has the money, yeah, like he really has the money there to get great directors and great writers on to do the films. Like, be very interesting to see. Like me personally, like you might have seen the last review that I'd done, The Abominable Snowman from 1957. In 2013, there was plans to write a script. I'm not sure if there was a script written in the end, but there was plans there to make a remake in it, modernise it. So, like again, these could be ideas that your man will take on board, and we could see eventually, a billionaire at the end of the day. Like, I'm pretty sure Hammer was like a family-owned company, and it was took over by the son back in the day, and he was the one that kind of started all the horror films that he would have been known for, really. Like, cause it's interesting. Like I love Peter Cushing, and I was researching his films and old Hammer films. Like Hammer would have made more like film noir crime films back in the 30s and 40s. Like, haven't really seen them. I'd love to go back and watch them. Like, some of them actually look very interesting. Like, but obviously they were more known for their horror films that they would have made. So before I get into more, I just want to hear people's opinions. Like, leave a like if you want to see more of this series. I'm going to invite guests on from the network. I haven't really done any crossovers. Like, I've been dying to get like people on to talk about horror films. So I think this new podcast can be a great opportunity to invite people on and not necessarily talk about one film, but we can talk about anything that's like generally related to horror. I know there's a few podcasts out there. Midnight Terrors is one that I really wanted to collab with from the very start. Again, if you haven't heard of them, you need to check them out. Another great horror podcast. But I just feel like the We Discuss series is going to be kept more to a movie review series that we just literally just dive in. And some episodes, if you notice, are very in depth, and some episodes we literally just go off the cuff. A lot of episodes we literally watch the film and then just literally just talk about it. So I feel in this series it's just more relaxed, it's just more general, and it'd be good for guests to come on. We like things spooky and scary over here, but sometimes you wake up on Sunday and you get that scary feeling. We have a good sponsor, we have a great little discount code that my co-host D is going to tell you about right now, so let's get into it.
Life is scary when you wake up and realise that you texted your ex a you up text. Yeah, we all deal with those Sunday scaries. The oh shit, stressful, nervous, can't sleep, dread feelings that hit you on a Sunday evening when you're thinking about work or school or just life for tomorrow. Unfortunately, you can feel that same pit in your stomach any day of the week. Sunday scaries CBD gummies were made to defeat the crap life throws at us. These are the perfect CBD gummies for professionals on the grind, super moms, students, party animals, regretful drunk sexters, and everybody in between. I am a terrible sleeper. My scaries tend to hit me at night time, so I end up spending precious noon hours staring at the ceiling questioning life. So I'm always looking for new ways to get better sleep. Sunday Scary CBD gummies help me decompress, clear my mind and fall asleep so I can wake up like a fully functioning human being. We all have the right to live scare-free. So whether you need to take the edge off, calm your mind, sleep better, or just chill, take 2 CBD gummies every day to keep those scaries away. Let me save you with our 10% discount. Visit sundayscaries.com and use our promo code GRAVEYARD. That's GRAVEYARD, all capital letters, for 10% off at sundayscaries.com.
That was Sunday Scaries. Great company, high quality CBD. As Dee said, 10% off on your checkout, and you're saving yourself a little bit of money, and you're also helping out the channel. Make sure you're checking out the description. We've plenty of links down there for you to check out. There's podcasts, everything, and make sure you're looking at the channel. Like, we're doing pretty good. We've actually something to announce. Actually, like real sneakily, we just hit 200 subscribers, and that's a big thing for me. We have videos hitting 1,000 views. The Bride to Dracula video is after getting 3k views. So we're full steam ahead over here at the Graveyard Club, and I'm delighted to say. So if I had a wish list for these new films that are going to be coming out, just revisit the old ones, as your man's going to say. I'd love a new take on a Dracula film where you get a fella that's fairly similar to Christopher Lee. slick in his appearance, and do you know what I mean? Just go for them vibes. Keep it light-hearted and like fun, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go too much into the story of Dracula like Universal done with Dracula Untold. Although I did really like that film, it just wasn't a proper Dracula film. Like, I didn't really enjoy it. Like, Renfield, again, Nicolas Cage, I thought he was actually very good as Dracula. He did do a good job, and I'd almost love to see him with his own Dracula story, like, not including Renfield, because I find that like that's what brought down the film, was the whole cops story, and even Renfield, I didn't really like him personally. Like. So if Hammer came back and started doing like Dracula films, I find these would be much better than what Universal has been doing. But we don't know. We don't know what we're gonna get really. Some directors that I'd wish that would be jumping onto the Hammer. Obviously, Mike Flanagan, James Wan, them two are wizards. They know exactly what to be doing with horror in this day and age. Guillermo del Toro, there's a few directors that I love. The director of the Annabelle films, they do pretty well over at Hammer. I forget his name, but the fella who directed Hereditary and all that, like all these sort of directors, I would love to see making Hammer films. And with John Gore now owning Hammer, the amount of money he has, anything could be possible. You could very well see James Wan directing a Dracula film for Hammer in a couple of years. Wouldn't that be fucking perfect? What horror needs right now is them classic monsters brought back properly, the way they like fucking need to be. Now, people may know Guillermo del Toro is looking at making his own monster universe, and he's working on a Frankenstein film. So this could put a spanner in the works now for Hammer. You don't want two fucking cinematic universes based on the classic monsters. But I don't know. We'll see. That Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde film, I think it's just called Jekyll, is slated out to be coming out this year. But again, there's no trailers. Same with Salem's Lot. Like, that film is meant to be coming out this year, and there's been no word on it. That's the one I've been dying to see all year is Salem's Lot. That's what my bar Evil Dead. That was one of the ones I was looking forward to the most. Again, so let me know down in the comments what films that you'd like to see this new age Hammer bring to the table. I would love to see a new age Dracula film, me personally. And by the way, thanks for everyone that's been subscribing and liking the videos, and I really appreciate people commenting on the videos. I've been sharing a lot of my videos to the Hammer Horror group on Facebook, and I've been getting a lot of love over there, so I appreciate the people over there. And the Spotify hasn't been doing this great, but still, I appreciate anyone that's listening over there. Leaving the links again in the description. Make sure you're checking them out. I'm looking forward to seeing where this series brings us. I want to get guests on. I want to even get family members on to talk about different stuff that's related to the horror genre. You know what I mean? And if there's any viewers out there that are watching the videos or listening on Spotify that want to jump onto the show, you're more than welcome just to message me and we can work something out. Like, this is what the series is going to be about. Hopefully the first episode is just going to be me rambling on. That's why I thought this was a good topic to start off the series. Like, and I have been thinking about bringing a video to the podcast as well, and I think this is going to be the series I'm going to do it on. It's time to step up the editing game on these videos. I think I've been doing fairly well on the videos. The editing's been going well. I like the style that I've been going with. People may not notice, but I've been going in that Cinemassacre, Monster Madness kind of style, where it's just voice over little clips of movies. And to be honest with you, that's what I like. When I watch reviews on YouTube, that's what I usually go for. I don't really care about too much, like, I've seen the person behind the camera. But this, as I said, the Gravedigger series is going to be more of a talk show podcast. So it's going to be way more interesting. There's a few movie podcasts on the network I'd love to get on to talk about what they think about different ideas on horror films and this and that. And I'd love to do an episode where I talk about my ideas for a horror film. I've 2 horror films I've kind of wrote out in my head. No script, but I have 2 ideas for horror films, and one is the name of the podcast. That's what I originally named the podcast after the idea of the film that I had. So it would be cool to dedicate an episode where I talk about the guest about what their idea of a good horror film would be. Because God knows I have plenty of ideas for horror films. That's the only thing with me. I'm into so many classic horror films. I watch all these new modern age horror films. And I'm just thinking like, oh, I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. I'm a big fan of practical effects. I think practical effects are the best. Like, do you know what I mean? I'd much rather them than seeing overloaded CGI shit, you know? So I have great ideas for films.
Hey, this is Sammy from Barrel Aged Chicks, and I'm here with Yen.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, Yen?
I'm feeling amazing.
Yes, you are. Well, what we're here to do today is talk about where you can find Barrel Aged Chicks. You can find us on Google Podcast,
Apple Podcasts,
Spotify,
Anchor,
and Good Pods.
Yep.
On the Barrel Aged Chicks, we have myself, Sammy. We have
Yin.
Of course. And then we have Snow, Crystal, and Harley.
Yep.
We enjoy talking about everything from movies to being current moms to being just the ladies of the Barrel Age Flicks boys and their shenanigans in general.
Please join us without kids. Thank you.
Yes, our podcast is explicit content, so it is definitely not for little ears, but come out, let your hair down, and hear the chick side of things.
Whoop, whoop.
It's a shit show.
Please join us. We need some mom time.
And if you want, you can comment below your idea of a film if you want. My idea, like I'll give you a little sneak peek right now because I am going to save it for another podcast. But I have an idea of a film called The Graveyard Club, and it's obviously set in a cemetery, and it's obviously centered around gravediggers, and they're seeing ghosts or they're seeing something. That's all I'll say because it would make for a good episode on this. So I'm gonna say, and then the other idea was just a typical Bigfoot movie, Mellows Creek. So who knows? In a couple of years, if I make enough money from podcasting, I could fund a film and I could release it on the YouTube channel. That'd be a cool idea. So if you made it this far, I'd just like to say thanks for listening, thanks for watching, wherever you are listening to on, preferably YouTube, because I'm trying to pump out the videos and like get the quality going over there. 200 subs now, we're doing well, and that's what only 23 videos, and I think only 17 of them are We Discuss podcasts. So I hope people will enjoy this kind of new style of podcasting. Like, it'd be much better once I get guests on, and even viewers, whoever does want to come on. And I'm going to start taking Q&A questions and emails and fan questions, everything. It's going to be a lot more like field, and it's going to be different segments in each episode. So definitely leave a like if you want to see more, and I'd appreciate the love. Like, yeah, make sure you've been keeping up what we've been doing over on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. This year we've been doing really good. We've been keeping up to date on all of the horror films coming out. I'm pretty sure we reviewed every single one of them that's been out this year, bar like maybe one or two, and there's a few more this year coming that we're going to keep our eyes on. Talk to Me was fucking brilliant. Like, that really blew me out of the water. Like, there's been a lot of people giving out about it. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Talk to Me. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go fucking watch it. Like, the sequel and all has been already fucking announced. Like, so that's how good it is. Like, so the final verdict here, I'm very excited for the new Age of Hammers films that we're going to be getting. John Gore, thank you very much. He basically just paid off all of Hammer's debts and just took over the whole fucking shit. So there's been already films been in the making over in that studio. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we get to see something this year. Dr. Jekyll. I'll be happy with anything at this stage. Even a couple of trailers for something, or an announcement of what's to come. But yeah, so if you made it this far, I appreciate you listening. Make sure to leave a like and comment on the video. That really helps, honest to God. Just say hello on the fucking comment. And does. But yeah, definitely like the fucking video. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. And go over to the Spotify and rate us 5 stars. That really helps us over there as well. Check out the sponsors. Sunday Scaries. Get yourself 10% off. And another one that I forgot to talk about on this channel is Doobie energy drinks. That's basically an energy drink you make at home, and it's much better than all the other shite that's out on the market. And you know the ones that I'm talking about. You do. You know the ones I'm talking about. And we have a 10% code off over there as well. If you type in the Graveyard Club, you'll save yourself a bit of money on the checkout. So that's Sunday Scaries 10% off using Graveyard Club. And for Doobie energy drinks, it's the Graveyard Club. So not only you're getting yourself money off, you're supporting the channel and you're supporting what we do over here. And I really appreciate that. And if you ever do use any of the links, feel free to screenshot it and send it over to me. I'll repost it and we'll talk about it on the next show. So that's been the first episode of the Gravediggers. Hopefully this turns out fucking well and we can continue on. I appreciate everyone watching and liking the videos. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Love yous. Bye bye.